so many times, spacing at the max range can get you in trouble and not let you do as much damage as you should be doing. If you play like this, you will be stuck in gold. Spacing could be killing your team fighting ability as an ADC. All right, this is a gold ADC player. His tag name is Drake Ye Lamar. He must be a rap fan, and he's a gold 3 player. And we're going to see what causes players a lot of issues and realize that sometimes perfect spacing is actually losing you games.
Need to respect the level 2.
He's exactly right. He didn't respect the level 2. He walked forward whenever the enemy was about to hit 2, and he got super hard punished for it. Always be thinking about this when you're playing ADC in the bot lane. Level 2 is huge. If you can ever get a level 2 all in, it's always typically a great move, and you can see why here.
No. Coach, I'm uncomfortable.
Okay, couple things about that team fight. First, whenever Lily was coming down, we weren't pathing correctly with the Leona. We should be clicking forward. Sivir was for sure going to click backwards, and if she did click forward, she was going to die. So we need to be doing that. Then we had some target selection issues where we switched off of the Leona to the Sivir. When you're playing Jinx, it's all about getting your resets. So if you're able to get the kill on that Leona, then you can kill the Sivir, hopefully. But I think the most crucial thing here is we knew that we were dead, and we were spacing out this Leona to where Leona tried to engage onto us with maybe 150 health, and we dodged the E. We still have cleanse up. Honestly, this is one of the scenarios where if Leona is there, number one, we should be clicking into her whenever she comes back towards us. But two, even if she hits you with the E and she stuns you, you have cleanse. Cleanse it and then kill her. And then at least you can get a 1 for 2 or 3 or whatever it was, and maybe even kill that Sivir, because that Sivir was getting pretty low towards the end and we didn't even have our excited passive. So a couple things that we could have fixed there, mainly just knowing the situation, knowing when to click forward and when to click backwards. And that's going to be a huge theme. Your spacing could be killing your team fighting ability as an ADC, and I'll show you why here in some other fights. A couple of things about this. So number one, I do love freezing, and I think freezing can be utilized in great situations, but there's a time to freeze and there's times not to freeze. Number one, you can't freeze if you're behind, because if the other laner is stronger than you, they can break that freeze whenever they want. If you're the stronger laner, you can. Now, Sivir was coming back to lane, so I think freezing here was appropriate, but as soon as the enemies come back, that freeze is no longer yours. You just have to let them push in, or maybe they'll just make mistakes and just last hit. But the other mistake that was made here is as soon as Alistar goes in on the Leona, we follow up on her as if Sivir wasn't walking back to lane to come take back over this lane. Now, in these lane phases, you can never, ever, ever go in on the support when the enemy ADC is doing well, getting kills, and is more fed than you, because they're just going to go in on you and they're going to kill you. Not to mention, after Alistar engaged on Leona, Leona's just going to engage on you, do all of her damage, which she's going to do a lot more damage than Alistar can do to Leona, and you're going to get 2v1'd because your Alistar is now useless because all of his cooldowns are 10 plus seconds. So always think about the situation that you're in before you take some of these fights that your supports want to just randomly go in just because they can use their abilities.
Oh my god, my Alistar is moving.
Okay, so as you can see here, when I was watching this live, I was shocked at how this was all played out. There's a lot of things that we could go over in this, but I want to hit a couple of the main things. Number one, our pathing to this fight was atrocious, because if this Sivir was any good, all she had to do was press ultimate and walk at us, because our Alistar and our Lilia were so focused on Leona and Amumu that Sivir's going to dominate in this 1v1 situation because we are so far behind, and Sivir with ultimate is lethal because her ultimate makes her auto attacks bring her cooldowns even lower. Little known fact. Number two, our spacing here was abysmal. There were many times where we were walking into the bush that Leona is in, that we saw her in because we're trying to get to the Amumu, and then also against the Sivir who was stunned, we're walking way far into her attack range when we had no right to. Anytime that Alistar is stunning her and we're that low, we have almost 200 more range than Sivir with rockets. There's no way that Sivir should be able to auto attack us there and do that much damage, especially while Alistar has the chance to be stunning her. So just bad spacing, but thankfully this Alistar is absolutely smurfing. And now we're back in the game. Now let's see what we do with this lead. You don't have to force anything. We can literally
It's a bad trap.
good targets. I would love to just follow. And just, okay, so we're autoing backwards. I would rather auto forward. Okay, in this clip, it was really quiet. I was in Discord, so you might not have heard, but I was muted in Discord, so he couldn't hear me. Even before this play, I said, we don't need to force anything, as this Alistar goes in to force this play against this Sivir. Leona is coming down the river, and when they start to 2v2, they go in on the Alistar, which leaves us to free fire on the Sivir. So I love the change in target from hitting the Leona to hitting the Sivir. That is A+, exactly what you should do. Now, here's what I didn't like about this clip. When we were auto-attacking the Leona, we started kiting backwards into our turret. Why? There's no reason to do this. We should be kiting into her exit path, blocking off her escape route, just in case if she has flash or if she has some way to get away. There's many other champions that could potentially get away, like a Rakan, like a Nautilus, things like that, that we don't want to give her any opportunity to get away, that she might waste flash trying to get away because we're in between her and her exit path. Now, it still works out in this situation, but it's forming bad habits if you're always feeling like you have to space at max range. You need to be spacing at the appropriate range for each situation, and every situation is different. And that's what we're going to focus in here on a lot more fights that we see, because so many times spacing at the max range can get you in trouble and not let you do as much damage as you should be doing.
Coach, do you prefer Runins or Phantom Dancer?
So this is a great question. When should you build Runans versus Phantom Dancer on Jinx or any AD carry that is able to build it? Think of it this way. Runins should be a stall the game mentality. I'm not denying that it does extra damage in teamfight from the extra on hit, but that is not the purpose of Runans at all. The purpose of Runans is to have massive wave clear. So if your team is down, you are down, and you need to stall the game out long enough for you to get more gold, you want to buy Runans so you can absolutely annihilate waves, and that way the enemy teams can't siege. That's why you would buy Runans. Otherwise, Phantom Dancer all the way.
Just went through my W.
So you saw here in this position where Leona is coming and engaging on us and Veigar is coming, but we have a Renekton who, by the way, at this point is 7-0, and Alistar coming in to collapse and pincer on this Leona. And we're still walking backwards and losing opportunities to auto-attack the Leona. Again, this is another situation. We still get the kill, but we're forming bad habits of not spacing correctly because we feel like we have to be at the very edge of our range.
Oh no.
So again, I'm letting you see my live reaction because this looked like such a good team fight, and it ended up that we lost 4 for 2. And the reason for that is we're not kiting appropriately. Now, this is a little bit different than spacing. Spacing was great here. We were able to dodge the Amumu ult, and Leona is going in on our front line. This is picturesque. This is exactly what we want. We were auto-attacking their front line, getting a lot of damage in, but the Sivir, as you saw, was in that opening side of the top side of the river, and we weren't starting to kite towards her to get ready for our Get Excited passive. Jinx is all about the Get Excited passive. Once you get one reset, you just start running down the rest of the team. We were just standing there and auto-attacking the Leona and the Amumu instead of preparing to start running towards that Sivir and chasing her down. Not only that, but we wasted our movement speed by self-CCing ourselves with our W. So as you can see, whenever we get the Get Excited passive, I think it was somewhere like 600 movement speed, but we use W, and in that time that it takes to cast W, we're standing there and we lose about 30 to 40 movement speed just because we casted an ability. You need to be just full charge ahead at that Sivir or at that Veigar, and then when we see the Yone, then we can back off. This is one of those team fighting things where if you play this correctly, you can change the outcomes of your games, because this is a major swing and goal for the enemy team. They get shutdowns for this, they get momentum of hitting turrets, getting objectives, and we lose a lot. But if you play this correctly as an ADC, you deny the enemy team a ton. So it's really important that you're always thinking about as an ADC, okay, once you get this done, or as any player, once you get this accomplished, what is your next goal? And as Jinx, you have to be thinking about your resets and what's the next step. So a lot of what you're seeing is my live reaction, and if you saw it at the beginning of this fight, you would have seen that I'm like, what are we doing? Just auto attack. We spaced out the Amumu ultimate. Leona had went in on the Alistar, I believe it was. It was perfect. And at that moment, that's when we're allowed to start making advances in our clicking. Now, I was okay with the back clicks at the beginning because Amumu was walking towards us. Again, not my favorite, but it's not the end of the world. The ones that I didn't like is whenever their whole enemy team is dead, Leona is walking away and we're still kiting back. And if you saw, we kited out of range after one of our autos and had to run back in range to get the very last auto off to get the kill on Leona. These are very bad habit clicks that if you just think about it in game, like what am I spacing for? Why am I spacing at max range? When is it appropriate to click forward rather than click backwards? It will make such a huge difference in your games. At the end of the day, I think if you play like this, you will be stuck in gold because you're not doing the DPS that you should be doing. But it's really a small fix. It's not going to happen instantly. It's going to be one of those things that you have to practice over time, practice the mentality of it, making sure that you're in the headspace where you're thinking, how can I do the most damage? You're going to make silly mistakes. You're going to have a lot of deaths that are ridiculous. In fact, let me show you an example from one of my games. So watch here as this happens. Obviously, the enemy team is taking Drake. I'm watching all of their low health bars. Thresh is low. Zac is getting low. Sion gets lanterned out. And then Kai'Sa is just autoing here. Now, I walk up to this wall and I just flash forward. I know Kai'Sa is over here. And so when I'm attacking towards her. I did make one back click on that Sion, but then realized, what am I doing? I start clicking forward again. I'm clicking forward. Even under tower, I know that I can kill this Thresh because I have Hex Optics, I have the Jinx range, so it's just a matter of clicking forward and doing the damage. I went from 3-2 to 6-2. Now I'm ready as Jinx to dominate and carry this game. This will be the last example of clicking correctly, and then I'll give you a bad example of clicking poorly and character movement. So the Kai'Sa is ulted into me. Now my Janna is right next to me, so there's really no reason that I want to get out of range or go to max range. I'm very happy to just auto this Kai'Sa because I know that I'm going to win. My Janna is right behind me. I'm very strong at this point in the game. I'm 7-2. I've got 3 items. Now just a little bit later, I come over to this gangplank and I make the wrong decision. I decide, you know what? I'm strong enough. I can just stand here and auto. And that's exactly what I try and do. And I die because of it and give up shutdown. Thankfully, we didn't lose because of this, but I'm just letting you know, silly, stupid mistakes happen like this, even in Diamond. I can make an amazing play, and then I can go and do this and make a bad play. But the important thing is that we're learning from it. We're having the correct mentality of trying to become better players, and that's what's going to get you to climb. Things like this, where you can recognize when you can do damage and when you can't. It doesn't matter that you're going to make mistakes. It doesn't matter that your teammates are going to flame you. You're going to become a better player just by thinking about it and actually engaging mentally. So hopefully this has helped some of you. This is something that it's it's taken me a while to really get used to, but if you start doing it in your games, it's not going to be the next game that you're going to be amazing at this. This is going to take a while. Again, this is a mentality shift. It's hard to think about. It's hard to do. It's hard to recognize those situations. And as you saw, even players in Diamond can make the incorrect decision. We're not perfect. I'm not Challenger by any means, but I absolutely have something to share and can give you information that I hope helps you able to climb. So thanks for tuning in. Leave a like, give me a comment, and if you'd like coaching, all my coaching up to this point has been free, and I hope it's helpful. So, peace.